Okay, I'm ready to get these brooches finished. I didn't mean for this to be 3 videos, but I felt like to get all the information in, and I edited a lot of it out, but I hope these haven't been too long for you. I found this, I didn't make this time. I made this to actually go on a box a while back and never got to it. And I thought, well, I'll turn this into a brooch. As you can see, I put clay on the back of this and literally pushed it through the holes in the filigree. And then I added my rhinestones with gem sticky. I did the big stone the same way that we've done it in the last video, by making a little polymer clay pad and making the impression and putting it all in there. And then this one has the rhinestone chain going around the big one. But why I wanted to get this and show you this one, with this being a solid back on it, where in comparison to the filigree back that has the holes that I left open, that I wanted to stay open in the rest of these, I'm going to put this type of pin clasp on there, on the back. And out of all the ways I've tried to do this, this has turned out the easiest and the most successful. I had some scrap purple clay. I'm assuming it was left over from whatever this clay is on the back of here. And I'm going to put some liquid clay on it, because this is baked clay to raw clay. And you want that really nice hold on there. And I'm going to center this in the back. That looks pretty centered. And we'll press it down. And then I'm going to go in with my texture sheet. And it's going to slide around because I didn't let it set up. So let's texture it. And then we will straighten it back out. There we go. Then I'm going to set my pen back on there. I'm going to take this off center a little bit and center my pen over here, because I have been putting my signature apple stamp on all of these as I went. And this one should be no different, because this is what I made. And now there's my little apple signature on there. So now I'm going to put my pen back down, and I'm going to press down to give me the impression. And I want it to be straight. That would help. And I will pull it up. And I've got my little impression there. There's 2 dots and things. And I'm going to cut out that impression, because I want the pin back to sit down, so the top of it, when I put another piece of clay on top to embed it, will actually have enough room to set it down in there. Okay, so I cut that piece out. I'm going to add a little bit more liquid clay since I'm putting down a metal piece. And I'm going to set that in there. I will take my blade and straighten it up, because it has slid everywhere. And when you're putting your pen back in, make sure you've got the right side of the clasp in the right place so it won't be upside down. You need to blend all these down. Let me texture the top of this one as well. I have found that Christy Friesen's tool does this extremely well. I'm just pressing on it and bringing it down a little bit all the way around. So I'm going to make sure that bottom layer of fresh clay is attaching to the bottom layer of clay, and then I want to make sure that my little piece I put on top is connecting. Now let me re-put my texture up here. And that way you see the texture part, you don't see any seams, and then you see my signature stamp, and the pen is still in the middle of the brooch. And my clip points here and it opens downwards. So when you hang it on something, then it will not come off. Now with this piece, I wanted the filigree to show. So I cut a backing. Because this was baked, I could follow my line around my baked clay and make a design to match my what's on the front. And then I came in and took a little needle tool and marked right above the stone where I could get it through the filigree, which let me know where to cut it over here and where the stone was setting. So I cut those out and basically did the same thing, only with one sheet of long clay. Now our butterfly, I wanted, again, the filigree to show up here. When somebody wears this, I want it to be open up here and around in here. So I took oval cutters, which was going to fit over my pen back, and I made a large one for the back. I put liquid clay on it, put it on there, and made sure that it wasn't showing too much. Now this butterfly, I wanted the filigree to show, and I didn't have a lot of room. So this is where the round pen backs come on. Same process. I cut out my clay with a circle and made sure that it didn't show too much on the front, so I didn't lose my opening in my filigree. And I put my post back down, and this is just like you do a post earring. And I took a little bit of liquid clay, a little tiny bit, because these were little tiny findings, and it helps set the post part in there. I textured it, and then I put another layer of clay on there. And what I used with this one was these two sizes of circles. So I took the smallest circle, put it down over the post, made sure there's no air in between the layers of clay, and then I textured it all and put my little stamp on there, and that one's finished. On the bronzy type butterfly, I cut already out a piece from the oval cutter, laid my pen back on there and cut it out, put some liquid clay on the back of it, and I mixed this color from some green metallic I had, and I added a little bit of black with it so I could get a color that matched sort of what I was working on. And you can't see it. I'm going to texture this. Here's my pen back for this one. So let me get some liquid clay on my pen back. Set it down in there, push it down in. And I cut my smaller oval, and I'm going to lay it right in there because part of it's going to have to be cut off as well. But I just found that cutting out shapes that fit best, unless you're doing like I did on that purple one and had a all of the back covered, that it was just real easy to either find cutters that I had that fit, and I think most of us has got round and oval cutters, and this just seemed to me to be the easiest way to do this, especially when you're not wanting to cover up all the holes in your filigree. I'll take my tool again. And I'm going to work that to where that looks like one piece of clay, and that it's down inside that filigree so it will actually connect to the other clay that's under there from that front side. Now I want to be careful here. I don't want it to come up where it will show on the front. So I want to push this clay sideways. Okay, so I've got that all textured. And I'm going to put my signature stamp on there. And this one's done. So you can't even see the connection on the back from the front. And we've got everything down here. And that one's finished. Okay, the long one is the only one I have left to do now. And because I like all of the open spaces going all the way down, I didn't want to put a large oval of clay on this and close up those spaces. That's those openings in between the two feathers, that's what actually makes this. So we're going to do a round one. The only thing that you can't see through now is right here under this bottom stone. Everything else is open. Even that one's open, so I'm happy with that. There's a little short nub right here, and my understanding is all of these type of tie backs have it. And I just take my wire cutters and hold my thumb over it so that little piece of metal don't go flying everywhere. And I cut it off because I'm going to take this piece of clay and press right over top of it. Now this is also how you do a post earring. Glues and stuff will not hold a metal piece to the back of an earring permanently. Neither will liquid clay. The only two ways to make sure an earring back, and the same goes for these, is either embed it like we're doing now. All of those layers are evened out. Now let's texture them. And do the signature stamp. And your back fits right on there. All of these are ready to bake. Here's my backs. I don't know if they'll all fit in my hand. Here's all the backs. And our purple one over here. So these are all ready to bake. I'm going to bake them for 30 minutes. This is all Primo clay, so it'll be 275. And when we get back, we'll be ready to learn all about DeepShine and how to use it. So I'll be back. Let's talk a little bit about DeepShine since we're to that point. I have put DeepShine on these. It's a UV brush on resin. It, like most resins, takes a 36 watt UV light to cure, or the sun. I'm not a fan of putting stuff in outdoors in the sun. I tried that one time and it got really dusty. But anyhow, that's just my view on that. And this is the new formula of DeepShine. And you can tell it has, let me get some more of my cup. It's better if you use a little cup and put it in. And you only need a little bit. You don't need a lot of DeepShine. But the new formula, you can't tell it, especially when I have a purple silicone mat underneath it. It has a lavender hue to it. and that's because it is a non-yellowing formula. Now, DeepShine was developed by Teresa Salgado, and to my knowledge, it's the only brush-on resin or that's formulated to brush on, and it's wonderful on flat pieces and especially curved pieces like beads or rounded pendants or anything. Now, I use 4 different brushes. You need a soft brush to apply your DeepShine with. I do not clean these. These have not been cleaned probably in 3 or 4 years, however long DeepShine's been out. I wipe off the excess DeepShine, and then I make a little house for my brushes and put them in foil, because as long as the DeepShine doesn't touch the UV light, it's not going to cure. So on this one, I'm going to use one of the larger brushes because I've got a larger surface, and you just dip your brush in your DeepShine, and if you have it too much on there, just hold it up and it'll drip off. Don't scrape the side of your container with your brush with DeepShine, or actually any product that you're using with a brush, whether it be paint or some sort of sealer or resin or whatever, because that's what adds bubbles into your brush and the bristles when you scrape it, and you don't want that. I'm putting this right over top of the stones, and you don't want to drag your brush, you just want to float your brush and put on a thin layer. You can see the difference already in the two sides, or at least I can. I don't know if the camera's showing it or not. And this will seal my mica powders that's on here and give me the shine I'm looking for. Now, you can use a doming resin if you choose to on this. Let me get my UV light on. There, that one's under there curing. All of these have been DeepShined already. And I think this one turned out really, really well. And I'm going to DeepShine the back, which usually with earrings and pendants, I don't put resin or a finish on the back unless it has a surface treatment on it. I have reactions to different types of products with my skin, and I don't want to sell somebody something that's going to have a reaction. So I'm not a fan of putting resin on the back of your projects. Now, I'm coming out here, even though there's no clay on the back of here, I want the back of my butterfly wings shining, since the front's shining. But that also is a little bit extra security when I put the DeepShine on the back to hold even the fronts on there. Now I'm going to change to a smaller brush because I have a smaller surface area right in here. and just glide your brush over. When you feel it starting to pull and tug, then put more DeepShine on it. If you have to make an effort, so to speak, to put your DeepShine on, then you don't have enough DeepShine on your brush, and it needs just to glide over everything. And it doesn't take long at all to cure. 2 or 3 minutes. The new formula of DeepShine cures a little bit quicker than the other one did. And just spread it out. Glide it over everything. And it's better to put a couple of thin coats than to put a large or a thick heavy coat. Now in that amount of time, the first one has cured under the light. It's not sticky, it's real shiny, and it's real pretty. So let's do the back. So if you've got a shiny front, you probably could use a shiny back. I think these pins would make wonderful holiday gifts. And like I've said, they don't have to be blingy. They can be made from canes or anything else. On Crafting Live with Pandora and Elaina, they have done several pins and during their live shows, and they save the recordings so you can go into that group at the top of the page and go down and find all of their lives that they've done. And Teresa has done some fabulous pins that you can find on there and see what she's done. Okay, this one's done. And if I can get the pin back. This one's all done. That butterfly's done. So that's the only thing I need to do is let them finish curing in a UV light. My brushes do not have an excessive amount of DeepShine on them. So it's time I put them to bed. Until next time, I just cover them up with the foil. And fold it over so light can't get into it. And those go where I store my brushes. Backs are done. They're finished. The fronts are all finished. So I think our part 3 of the video is finished for now. I hope you've all enjoyed this one. I didn't intend, like I said, for it to end up in 3 parts, but once I got started, there was just information I felt like that I needed to let you know, and I didn't want to rush it, and I don't like making my videos real long. Here they all are finished. And I hope you all make a bunch of them and give them away as gifts for the holidays. As always, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate you all sticking with me, supporting me. subscribing to the channel. Leave me comments. I love to read them, and I will answer them. So until next week, blessings.